Hi everybody, welcome to Boots on the Ground. Thanks for joining me again. I am, as you know, your ranch manager Kelly. Today I will show you things that you normally can't see from your eyes in the sky perch. You watch us all the time, walk around, go in this door, out that door, and you probably wonder what we do in there and what we've got in there. So Boots on the Ground will show you things that you normally can't see. Today, I'm going to show you the tack room, where we keep all things horse and all things that we need to use for our trail rides and our lessons. You may have seen, what was it, 3 weeks ago or so, I went and I got some decor for the door. I thought it would be nice if people felt welcome when they came and kind of give it a little homey aspect. I know that Ranch Hand Wardasani said it kind of had the vibe of come as guests and leave as friends, and I thought, well, I wouldn't exactly go that far, but we welcome everyone here, and we're very glad everyone comes to visit us. I thought that was a nice touch. So the pictures that we're going to show you are basically walking straight in the door and then turning to the right and going into the back and then making a circle back out, so you can see more or less the order of things in our tack room. It's a great space. It's a good size and it's incredibly well organized. When you walk in the front door, this is what you see right in front of you. We have, going from left to right, we have some brochures for some local businesses. We have our liability releases, some blank paper, things like that we need. We've got some pens and pencils. We have a staff binder as well, that notebook there, where we keep the contact lists for the rest of the staff, important phone numbers like vets, the guy that drags the arena, chiropractors, plumbers, anyone we could need, as well as a horse usage log. We keep track of when we use each horse and what we've used them for, so we don't overwork anybody or underwork anybody, because sometimes we have our favorite go-to guys and we forget that, oh, we could use Raz. Raz hasn't been out in a day or two. So the horse usage log is really important. We've got the phone, of course. We have a clock radio where we can charge our phones. We have a guide phone, which is really important, of course. I think I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Up in the cabinets, we have medical supplies. We've got fly spray, injectables, anything, human and animal, by the way, medical supplies. The pictures you see on the front of the counters are some of the staff, actually. I asked, when I started here, I thought it would be nice to have photographs of the staff when we were youngsters on horses. So we have a few pictures up there of, some of us are older pictures, some of us they're pretty recent, but a lot of the guests like to look up there and see their guide as a little girl. Refrigerator with cold water in it and any medicines we have to keep cold, and some ice packs. Continuing over to the right is where we hang our horn bags. You can see the orange horn bags, which we went through a week or so ago. Up on top are saddle bags, which we really haven't used, but if we were going out on a long trip, say an all day, we would need to pack more supplies, jackets and whatnot, and so we would take a saddle bag. On the bottom of that rack are we call them buddy stirrups. They're the stirrups we use for kids who can't quite reach the normal saddle stirrup, and they go over the horn and hang on either side. I'm sure you'll see them. In fact, Taylor's going to be giving a lesson in a few minutes, and I think she'll probably be using the buddy stirrups. And continuing on to the right, those are our bridles. And every horse has their own bridle. The bits are basically the same, but they're adjusted for that horse. You know how fast we have to get horses tacked and untacked, and so being able to grab the bridle that's already adjusted is really important. They're also all hung up the exact same way, so we can grab the bridle and take it out without having to worry about where the reins are, where the throat latch is, where the curb strap is. It's very simple that way. It's a great tack room. It's very, very functional. And then we're going to continue on around the corner, and when you go around the corner, that's what you see is the beginning of our saddle area, and a little bit of stuff to the right that we'll talk about later. That is our tack room dog Cola behind me, crashing the party, as it were. So we'll go ahead, go back into the saddle area, and you can see that is left to right in the back. Every horse has their own saddle that fits them. In the corner there are saddle pads. Everyone has their own saddle pad as well, because they compress around the shape of that horse's back. And each section has the name of the horse, so they're easy and quick to grab. So we'll continue around the back area where all the saddles are. And the saddles are all put away the exact same way as well, for the very same reason that the bridles are all put away the same way. Efficiency. Sometimes things don't go back exactly the way you'd like, because you have younger people who really, really want to take the saddles off and the bridles off. And we showed them, but it takes a while to learn exactly how to do it. Once you learn it, you can't unlearn it really, but knowing where each strap goes and how to tie it off, those kind of things, it takes a while to learn. So we hope everything's back perfectly. 90% of the time it is. In the far corner there, that's Suzanne's halters and bridle for Chinook and Lanza. Her stuff is in the back. And then if we continue around, we'll see the cubbies. Now, that's a panoramic shot. It's not really curved. All the staff and guides have their own cubby and some plastic storage tubs for anything. Gloves, sweaters. Some of us have our own helmets. You know, whatever you want to be drinking that day, water, tea, anything you need. Above the cubbies, those are the helmets that you see everyone put on. They are Troxels. They start from right to left, extra small, going all the way to large. Every day or two, we spray them out and keep them sterile. Above the helmets, and each helmet has we've written on the back extra small, or XS, S, M, L. Above the helmets, you see extra tack. There's extra cinches, extra bits, extra head stalls, billets, latigos, things that we need, because when you need something, you really need it. You need it quickly. So that's how that's organized. Quite well, I think. It works very well. And going over to the right, we have, very important, look at this list. This has the name of the horse, their bridle, and their saddle. The saddles are all numbered. Not only is the saddle numbered, but the saddle rack is numbered. So we always know which saddle goes where and on what horse it goes. And believe it or not, after a year and a half, I still have to look at this every single time. I think Rocket's number 1. I think that's all I've got. Is Monty 4? I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't actually see the chart, but I think that's how it works. I can't believe every time I have to look at that for every single horse. But I mean, if that's my biggest problem, I guess I'm in pretty good shape. So, you know, now that I've been explaining it to you, it's actually quite the well-organized tack room. You see us go in and out of there all day with something or another, bridles or halters or saddles or bridles or pads, and that's what we're doing. That's the secret of the inner sanctum of the tack room. The halters, I don't have pics. The halters are outside. You can see those. And the brushes are outside, things like that. Step stools so kids can reach. That's pretty much it for the tack room. There are some In the cabinet area, there are some drawers underneath where Suzanne has her personal tack, personal things. Also, more extra saddle parts, some tools, some office supplies, things like that. Something that I've learned doing this kind of work for a while is the fewer steps you take during the day, the happier you are. So having everything you need for that particular task in one place is crucial to the happiness and well-being of those of us at Dunrovin who work all the time. Suzanne, this has been organized this way for years, I imagine, and a lot of people say, I can't believe how organized the tack room is, and it really, really is. We keep it vacuumed and swept and dusted. That's our tack room, folks. I don't think I've forgotten anything about that. We do have some extra saddles in the back in the feed room. The ones we don't use, we just have a couple. But pretty much everything we need is in there, and we don't have too much more than we actually do need, because then it would just become cluttered and inefficient. So I think that's all I have for you. I don't know if you all have any questions or comments about maybe the kinds of saddles or the saddle brands we have, or the kind of cinches we use. I guess I can talk about that for a few minutes. We have, I think, a couple gated saddles, but most of them are regular Western saddles. Most of them have a 6.5 inch gullet, and probably semi-quarter horse bars, I'm guessing. A lot of our cinches are string, some mohair, and some compressed felt, which actually are my favorite. The string cinches we wash because they get stiff and they can be uncomfortable. The brands of the saddles, they're all great saddles. We have crates, we have some Colorado, we've got, I think we have a couple Wades even, Wade trees. They're really good saddles. Suzanne did a great job of stocking the tack room for us. Sometimes we switch out if we notice, well, this one's not fitting this guy particularly well today. We'll switch it out for the time being. You know, even though we're fitting their shoulders basically, they can still gain weight around their withers and it makes a difference in the saddle fit. Something else we do when we put the saddles on is we put the saddles up further forward, further up the withers toward the neck of the horse than you might normally, because of the fact that they're Tennessee walkers and their shoulders can have to move a lot more. So you don't want the saddle to be pinching them behind their shoulder, because I can't imagine how uncomfortable that would be to be able not to move that shoulder. So I think most of Suzanne has, she's gotten most of the saddles, I believe, locally. I don't know that she bought them new, as a matter of fact. We have a great tack store, a consignment store locally called Crazy Horse, where we get a lot of things that we need, and clothes, by the way. It's fantastic, and they must have 200 pairs of boots. And they have a great business model because you go in there to sell things and then you walk out having bought things. It's pretty genius on their part. Bridle saddles, they have all kinds of things. I imagine that's where she got them. And we haven't gotten a new saddle since I've been here. I did get an inexpensive, very wide saddle that we thought would fit Ben, actually. And it kind of does. I just bought a saddle, actually, for myself. And I'll bring it out once it's oiled up real good and safe, and we'll use it on the bigger horses. I'll show it to you because I'm very proud of it. It's very nice. Now I just need the horse to go with the saddle, and I'm golden. The bridles are all exactly the same as well. They're older too, but I don't think they're as old as the saddles, but they're exactly the same. No one has extra straps or buckles. The reins are all exactly the same. Oh, here's something you might not know is we ride with what are called split reins. That means there are two separate reins. They're not connected at the end, like trail reins, for example, or barrel reins, or English reins. They're white cotton. They're very comfortable, and they're a very nice weight, and they're flat. Some reins are round and leather and flat and leather. There's just a million kinds, and it all depends on just the kind of feel you want in your hand, as well as the weight of the rein on the bit. Believe it or not, even that matters. The horses are so sensitive. You know, you've watched us work with a horse where this is a correction on the rein, just moving your fingers. So the weight of the rein on the bit as well makes a difference in how the horse is thinking and behaving, and how he's being cued and asked to do things. It's more complicated than anyone would imagine, and if you're smart, you're learning something every day, and you're never done figuring this horse business out. I did buy some new cinches the other day, some compressed felt cinches. We were low, actually, and some of the string ones had gotten a little uncomfortable. So we got some of those. I like those a lot. You wouldn't think wool would be comfortable, but it's wool compressed felt, and it's really nice. Apparently it stays cool. And I didn't understand that at first until I realized that smart wool socks keep your feet cool in the summer. Probably because they breathe. If any of you know really why the science of that, I'd love to know, because it has always confused me. But that's what we'd use. The bits are Mylar or a Mylar knockoff. They're very, very mild, which we like when we have people who don't have particularly soft hands when they ride. You know, they're pulling, or their hands are up here because they think that this makes you safer. That's about all, unless you have anything else. I don't know if yeah, Celia's asking, what do we do with the old saddles? Well, old saddles go to Saddle Purgatory, which is a consignment shop. We did have some English saddles, the same consignment shop, Crazy Horse, by the way, which is about 2 miles away. They will go to a consignment shop and be sold. Might put them on the local Facebook pages. Being horse country, there are a lot of Facebook pages just that cover just the general area, horses and tack and things like that. Might put them on Craigslist. But you know, I don't know at what point a saddle becomes unusable. Clearly, if the saddle tree is broken, that would make it uncomfortable and unsafe. You can always put new fleece on the underside. You can make little repairs for what you need. So I don't really know when you would get rid of a saddle, unless you just felt like you wanted to try a different style, perhaps, or you needed a different size for the particular horse you had. Things like that. We haven't gotten rid. Have we gotten rid? I think we've gotten rid of a couple English saddles since I've been here, because we really didn't need them. Does anyone else have any questions for me? It's nice. Okay. Well, I see out in the arena we have a 7-year-old riding Rocket bareback. So that should be good. She's been here, I think this is like her 7th or 8th time. Also, we just got a fish. Nice. All right, everyone, I'm going to send you back to the ranch cam and the nest cam, and I really do appreciate you keeping me company this afternoon. Around 2 o'clock, I've got a special guest for the walkabout. You know him, but we're going to try to get to know him a little better. Thanks a lot for joining me. We will see you very soon. Bye-bye.